Good evening. Today is March 6th, 2016, and back in September of 2014 I had a dream regarding the church and the pastor and about leaven. So in this dream I was sitting in the foyer on this booth, like a family style booth, and the booth was red, and it was a solid pattern. It didn't have any pattern to it, and it was very comfortable. And I was watching elderly gentlemen running to and fro, looking like they were expecting new people to come into the faith. And that when after this, the pastor was sitting in a booth perpendicular to myself, and that booth had diamonds. It was red, but it had a diamond-shaped pattern to it. Same family-style restaurant, but this booth also was lumpy. And so when he was sitting, he also had glasses on, and he was sitting in that. And so, as it went on, another pastor came in. It was himself, but he didn't have glasses on, and he came and he sat next to him, and he said, "Son, I have something to tell you." Now, back in that time, I knew that the lumpiness, that was leaven, and I knew that that was what that represented. Of course, the glasses are not being able to see, blinded, maybe not totally blinded, but partially not able to see. So yesterday I was watching a teaching from 119 Ministries about how Paul is misunderstood. And at the 48-minute and 7-second mark, he read these couple of verses, and I want to read them to you. But they refused to heed, shrugged their shoulders, and stopped their ears, so that they could not hear. Yes, they made their hearts like eminent stones, refusing to hear the law of the word of Yahweh of hosts had sent by his Spirit through the former prophets. Thus great wrath came from the Lord of hosts. And that is, I don't know if I said that, Zechariah 7, verse 11 and 12. So, the eminent stone, that is a diamond stone. And that's exactly what the 119 ministry had put in there, in that teaching, a diamond stone. And so I knew at that moment that was, people not heeding the law that has been written. Most people think that the law has been done away with. You don't need to follow the law. And, Yeshua, Jesus, came to teach against the Talmud, the oral law, the laws that were made up by the establishment, by the Pharisees, that were burdensome, that the people were not of Yahweh. He said, don't take away or add to. And while, there's been added to and taken away based on man-made doctrine. So, I know how this is probably going to be received. I mean, we read in the Old Testament how prophets were received, how when they try to bring people back to the word, they're persecuted, they're shunned, they're even killed. So I know this isn't going to be popular because most people aren't going to want to hear it. Most people are still going to stop their ears. Most people aren't going to turn away. And most people are not going to follow. We don't keep the law to be saved. We keep the law because we are saved. And in 1 John it tells us, if we love Yahweh, we will keep his commandments. And his commandments are not burdensome. And I know that there's a lot of theology out there that contradicts that, but it's not what the word says. So I know this message is from Yahweh himself. The question is whether or not you're going to be a Berean and study it out for yourself, or if you're going to continue in your man-made doctrine. Are you going to turn and repent, or are you going to continue on? Are you going to stop up your ears and not hear and refuse to hear? May Yahweh bless you and keep you, and may his face shine upon you.